All right, we are about 9 seconds in. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. I'll say that again in just a few moments once we get all happy and excited about being here. So I'm going to start off with a story in just a couple seconds here. I just wanted to say Happy New Year, and I wanted to say I hope you're doing awesome. I really do, from the bottom of my heart to yours. I really do hope you're doing awesome. I hope that I have lots of hope. I create a lot of hope in everything that I do. I create hope where there is no hope. I see hope in everything. What's up, Val? And I really mean that. Like, so when somebody is lacking hope, my immediate response is, what's going on here? My immediate response and thought process is, well, how can we create more hope here? Because hope dictates all of your actions. You see, what's really kind of interesting, I'm going to digress for a few seconds here. What's really kind of interesting, if you think about what's driving your actions right now, it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily what has been. It's what's going to be. See, if I told you that, look, you can put in all the action that you want to, you're not going to create the results that you want. And you'd be like, oh, well, that sucks. So I just won't do anything. However, if I spun that around and said, look, if you do steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, put everything you are in there, remove the story from your mind and really create it and put everything that you are into it, you will create this result. Then you will go, oh, sweet, then I'm totally going to do that. You see, that's the difference between where we sit and where we want to be. We can either sit in the past stuff and constantly bring that up over and over and over again, or we can sit where we are and look at the future and let the future dictate our actions today. So what's interesting, I can't see the comments. What's up, Georgiana? What's up, Dee Dee? What's up, Sabrina? What's up, Simone? So I'm going to read you a story, and I'm going to kind of give you the context of it. There was a gentleman that was going around from door to door. He was one of the people that would take the pamphlets, put it on the door, or if they had an opportunity, they would have a conversation with you. And what happened was he walked up to a door, knocked on the door, and the guy opens the door, sees what he's presenting, goes, bam, punched him. This is a true story, by the way. Punched him right in the face. And he obviously goes backwards. He grabs his nose. He realizes that it's bleeding. And he says, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for opening your door for me. Can you get me a towel so I can stop the bleeding so we can continue our conversation? Think about that for a second. That is removing everything. See, this comes from understanding how to ask anything from anybody and not care about it. You can ask, and this is there's a gentleman named Michael Neal, and he quotes, "You can ask for anything if you don't buy into the thinking about what it would mean if they said no." Whew. If you don't believe this, ask your children. What's up, Jason? Hey, Baxter. Thanks for hooking me up sweet with this image today. What's up, Helena? You can ask for anything. You can ask anyone for anything if you don't buy into the thinking about what it would mean if they said no. Isn't that an interesting thought? So that brings us to what we were talking about this morning, about creating something, getting stuff done, right? Moving out of the place from being stuck. You know, in the beginning of the wake up call, I talked about the gentleman that went for 3 years straight. He went through 5 different relationships. And what's interesting is when he started analyzing and looking at what really, really happened. Thanks, Yolanda. What's up, Danny? When he really started taking a look at what happened, he was the common denominator. You see, he brought himself from relationship to relationship to relationship. This is why so many people, when you walk into the new year, you have this really super duper crazy amount of excitement. By the way, if you can share this, that'd be awesome. This is why when you create this excitement walking into the new year, this is why when people get about, I don't know, a week into it, or we'll be super gracious, 30 days into it, and you fall off the wagon. What's really kind of funny is Danielle teaches a bar class, B-A-R-R-E. If you know what it is, you know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. Some kind of crazy aerobics, yoga. It's like all these different things combined. Anyways, I asked her how it went on Monday. And she's like, there was hardly any room for me, who she teaches on Monday mornings. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. She's like, don't worry though, it'll slow down soon, because that's what happens with people. We get so excited, except for we bring the same person from place to place. Now, what's interesting is if we really start taking a look at it, it's actually not that hard to get a control of. So, excuse me, transformation happens in a matter of seconds. If you want to create transformation in your life, it comes down to two things. One, understanding how you got here. And number two is deciding. You know, the word decide, I believe the word side means to kill. So when you decide, you're killing off any other options. So here's how you do it. Take a look at your habits. And I'm not going to go through all the habits I went through on the wake up call, but if you take a look at the habits that brought you here today, there's two different kinds of habits. There's habits that we do physically, you know, the habit of, I don't know, when you hear a certain whatever, you start scratching your face or whatever it is, you pick your boogies, you get nervous and you move your hair to the side, whatever, those are physical habits. And we have habitual thinking. Now, habitual thinking is triggered thinking, and triggered thinking is anchored into something that had been said somewhere, right? You know, so one of my trigger thinkings when I was younger was being stupid. You know, if somebody said I was stupid, we were throwing down, man. That's just the way it was. It's the way I created my life. When the word stupid, how that occurred to me was because somebody said it to me, I actually felt stupid. Kind of weird, huh? It's habitual thinking. You see, in all reality, nobody can make you feel anything. Nobody can make you move here nor there. We decide to receive words and allow those words to impact us positively or negatively. Now, I've said this a bunch of times before, but something's pulling on my mind here. Is what's interesting is this. Anybody's opinion, thought, statement, words, attack, non-attack, love, adornment, whatever it is towards you, a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. Even if you're super duper awesome. What's really cool about it is this. When somebody speaks something at you, it is because of you fit a certain mold according to their mind. It's just the way it is. It's their own opinions and being through life. That's their habitual thinking. How you decide to receive that is your habitual thinking. Now, the habitual thinking, man, you're not, thanks, Robert, ha, ha, ha. What's neat is this, is that our habitual thinking is we have it all the time. It's when somebody comes home late, you think whatever you think. When certain responses happen on your social media page, I put out this crazy awesome Facebook Live today, and not one person liked it. Or I got 3 likes and a comment. What the heck? Our habitual thinking tells us how to think about ourselves. Well, in all reality, it really has nothing to do with anything except for what we created from it. It has nothing to do with the value that you put out. It has nothing to do with the effort that you're putting in. It really, the responses don't have anything to do with your actions that you're doing. So what's awesome about that is that we can actually choose how we receive everything. Isn't that amazing? When I say the words, when I hear the words, say the words, think the words, or I hear somebody say the words, I'm not enough, I'm like, well, let's look at that and see. Now, sometimes I don't say, let's see why you're choosing that, because that's not really, this is for you, Sarah. When we take a look at those, man, you threw me off kilter. I forgot what I was saying. Yes, I'm not enough. So when we have these thoughts of I'm not enough, we're actually choosing not to be enough. When we tell ourselves that I'm limited to creating certain results, we actually create those limitations in our minds. Because when we say a lack of confidence, I don't have control over things. I have these problems. I'm not good at making plans. I'm not, whatever the hell we decide to put after I'm not. We actually, our mind goes like this. It goes, you're right, until I find a way to justify that. And there it is. You're right. I'm totally right. I'm not enough. I can't do it. I don't have control. I have no confidence. I'm limited to what I can create. When it's all poop. One of my things is I need to keep my language on task. So, love it. So when we have these negative thoughts and these negative things that are occurring in our lives, we actually choose that way. And and I'm going to tell you, if you think it's easy, man, think again. It's not the easiest thing to do. However, holy moly, is it worth it? So now what do you do? And I'm going to take you through an exercise. I didn't get a chance to do it on our call, but I want to do it here on this call because I'm going to show you how not just the top income earners in our profession do this. The top, however your definition of success is, people in society today. This is what they do. By the way, if you don't register for, I love it that they say secret growth hacking software. I know it's in it because I had an opportunity to see. Sorry, I'm not telling anybody anything. You can't beat it out of me. But if you haven't registered for tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, you should. Dang it, you should. Weeklymarketingwebinars.org. This is and has already changed the face of so many people's, not their businesses. I mean, it has, but their lives. It's really kind of incredible to watch somebody step into something that just wasn't there before and create. And here's the most amazing thing. MLSP did it for them. They did it for them. They didn't have to be a master closer, a master seller. They didn't have to know everything about the system. They didn't have to do anything. They had to show people what we're doing here and then take their hands off of it. And MLSP goes, hey guys, thanks a lot. We'll take it from you. We'll take it from here. So there you go. We got your back on this. And they put their experts that have been trained specifically to show people the ropes. So anyways, I digress a little bit. So what do you do from here? Look, man, y'all are just screwing yourselves if you don't show up tomorrow night. That's all I'm going to say. So what's kind of interesting is, I did this for the first time in ages. Yes, Jason knows. So I did this for the first time in ages. I actually broke out my goal setting book. In this book, they call it the Dream List. And I'm going to tell you, I really had a hard time writing these things down because I had done it, 4 years ago, and I studied it so much, and I memorized it by heart, and I imagined everything happening exactly the way it occurred on that piece of paper. That everything except for as soon as that hole is dug tomorrow, except for that pool, has come to fruition. And here's the funny thing. There's another thing on there. It said my 1968 Camaro that I haven't bought yet. I really don't care. It's not that important in my mind. What's important is other things that are on there that I achieved. So this works. I am a living, breathing organism of this. So if you haven't written your goals and your intentions down, why not? See, I've actually had people say, well, it's good to write your goals down, but I mean, what's the importance of it? Well, the importance of it is shown statistically to work to help you create those. And here's what you do is you tell people about it. And I'm not talking about just telling people on social media. That's easy. I created goals today. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to rock it. I'm on fire. I'm this and this and this. That's awesome. Social media is just that, social media. And it's great to do that. However, tell the people in your life that you really care about, the ones that are going to hold you accountable and call you out on your BS when you don't do it. My wife and my friends, and I have people in my life, I've look, say what you need to say. If you see me out of action, call me out on it. We created expectations of each other. We created agreements, not expectations of each other. We have an agreement. And I have the same thing with them. It's fun. My boys do it too. I'm gonna take a side step for a second, and I think you'll probably get a kick out of this. I actually had one of my sons say, man, it sounds like a story, Dad. My 9-year-old told me that I was telling myself a story about something that was occurring at that very moment. Look, man, how you be and show up in your life, it emulates on everybody. It doesn't, and the good and the bad comes out. So once you have your intentions written out, whether it's financial freedom, retirement, loving your job, relationships, if you're digging this, man, I want to hear about it. My brothers and sisters, where are we here? Yes, financial freedom, whatever it is, happiness or moments of happiness or excitement or whatever it is. Hang on a second here. Something funky popped up on my computer. There it is. Once you have that, once you have this all written down, you start like what do I need to do to create these? Right? Do I need to dive into the back office and learn the system that I actually have? Do I need to dive into a course? I noticed I didn't say courses. Do I need to learn a new skill set? And I use Mark Harbert because I love that guy. First off, Mark Harbert's freaking awesome. But I love his story of about 10 years ago is when he was at one of the first two Live the Dreams. I can't remember which one it was. He became a freaking expert at YouTube. He was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to master YouTube. Well, good Lord, that man has generated hundreds of thousands of leads from YouTube. And I love seeing all the fun stuff that he does with his family because most of his leads, if not all of them, are coming in on autopilot. So choose something and freaking master it, whether it's Aaron Birch's 30-day challenge and go through that thing and master social media, or if it's something different in our back office. There's so much stuff back there. Honestly, guys, I love you. I love everybody on here. They don't charge enough money for this system. I'm just going to say that out loud. Because what I paid in here, if you take 10 years of what it goes through here, it still doesn't match the college education you receive. So anyways, and then chunk it out, right? So this literally, you're gonna have to go back through and I'm not kidding when I say now what. This is what I coach executives on, is you mark all this out. You actually go crazy old school and write it out, because when you write things out, by the way, you connect your left and your right brain and get all your creative juices flowing. It's a lot of fun. So you chunk out the process and you see what order do I need to do what. And here's the thing. It's so awesome to run your ass off and do actions every single day. If you're not getting the results that you want, something's amiss. Not wrong, just something's amiss. There's something missing from it. It's no big deal. So sometimes I pull back for a day or two and I crack open one of these crazy books that I have and I really start and I just dive into it. Just freaking I shut everything down. I kick back in my chair. I got this really great pillow on my seat here. And I just learn my ass off for like a day or two. And then I implement everything that I've done, everything that I've read and learned. See if you can get, and can I get an amen for those that are webinar and course junkies? Can I get an amen from y'all? You got to, man, I think I was like the king of that county. And I would sit there and learn all this stuff and I never did anything with it. I would just use all that habitual thinking to stop myself from moving forward. So once you start implementing everything, Mo, my favorite book, man, that's a great question. I may have to put a list of them in the group because I have so many for different reasons. But I can tell you, if you have resistance, one of my favorite one is from Stephen Pressfield. I know I'm going to get lots of these. Stephen Pressfield is the War of Art. It's super skinny and it take you probably about an hour to read. It's pretty crazy. I love that book. That's one. But however, if I tell you what, if you haven't read The Miracle Morning combined with The Compound Effect, it actually should be one book. So if you buy one, buy both and read them in succession. Read The Miracle Morning first and The Compound Effect afterwards. If you put those two together, you won't have a choice but to see life more amazingly. Okay, so keep you guys threw me off. So keep track of your results, right? And this is the big one. This is where a lot of us, we don't do it. The War of Art is nuts. So where was I here? Yeah. So one of the highly successful people in the world, they analyze every single week, or they have people do it for them. What worked, what didn't, and what didn't you do? Now, the what didn't you do part, you have to make a decision whether you consciously decided not to do something because you were doing something different, or you were doing something that took precedence, right? Now, if you didn't do something because you Forgot? Well, you didn't forget. Sorry, I said that right from here, man. But ask yourself this question. What thinking caused me not to do it? See, once you understand what thinking caused you to do it, then you can go back and be like, man, really? I didn't do it because I didn't think I had enough authority, or I didn't think I knew what to say, or I didn't think about whatever. I didn't think I knew something. All right, cool. No needs to beat yourself up about it. The second you beat yourself up, oh, hold on. I got a call coming in. Once you start beating yourself up, you're actually playing into the habitual thinking. Oh man, I suck so bad because I didn't get all my stuff done. Why do you suck so bad? That's just what we're doing there, is we actually create justification for not taking action in the future. And we're actually telling ourselves who we are and who we're not, according to what we did or didn't do. And that has nothing to do with anything. You choose who you are. Dang on it, man. I'm going to try not to curse. I get so frustrated sometimes when that old habitual thinking comes into my life. And when I hear other people have that, it's because you are who you choose to be. Let me ask you this question. Who do you choose to be? Do you choose to be a badass? Do you choose to be an impactor? Do you choose to be someone that helps people? Do you choose to be somebody that creates success? Do you choose to be somebody that just freaking rots everything that they do? Do you choose your life, or are you letting your life choose you? Are you the effect of the cause, or are you causing the effect? I apologize for that. I got a little fired up for a second. So once you, I got a little red on that one. Once you take a look at the thinking of it, it's what can be approved around this. Who do you need to speak to? It's not about, when you're talking to people, it's not about asking them what's working for them. It's asking what their mindset is like. What is going through their head? What do they do? What did they tell themselves in order to create what they're creating? Who are they? How do they show up? What got them out of bed every day? It's not about what did you do to generate leads or enroll that person or create a client. It has nothing to do with that. Man, look. Let's stop for a second. I know you saw something in the last 10 minutes. I know I spoke to somebody on here. And if you're driving, pull back for a second. Pull over to the side of the road. It'll be worth it. And I want you to really pay attention to who you just became. Because I said something that created meaning for some people, and for other people, it created a different meaning. When I talk about goals and directions and what you're creating for your life and what you're moving in and out of, I want you to literally remove every single limitation you think you have. Because limitations are bullcrap. They're not real. I can't remember. I can't say his last name. I know his first name is Nick. I'm not even going to. He's the one with no arms and no legs. The limitations that we think we have are complete fabrication. We use them to not take action. We use them to react to the people in our lives. We use them to be a certain person. And I'm going to tell you right now, there are no limitations, just the ones we create. So I want you to see yourself 2-3 years down the road, and you decided to take action today. Something you heard January 7th, 2020, you decided to take action. Maybe you just registered for the webinar for tomorrow night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern. Plug. Whatever you did something. You decided to move. You decided to step into the person that you really have been born to be. And I just want you to feel that for a second. You can see everything you want. If you look up and look right here in the middle of your forehead, just close your eyes and look up, you can actually see a movie theater. You can see your life. That's not what's important. What's important is what it's doing inside of you right now. When you're able to look at your husband or your wife or your kids and you can tell them, I did it. When you can put the pool in the backyard because you want your sons to stay at your house instead of going over their friend's house for pool parties. When you can stop whenever you feel like stopping during the day and go hang out with your husband or your wife. When your friend comes into town, you can have coffee with them. When you get a text that I got this morning and it said, thank you for our conversation last night. You changed my life. That feeling. Every time you review your goals and your dreams and your intentions every single morning, dang it if you don't do it. You're cheating yourself and everybody around you. Every single time that you read those and review those, I want you to remember this feeling because that's what's going to get you moving. Not the money, not the fame, not the words, but what comes with that stuff. What got me working out again, as hard as I am, good Lord, am I sore, is because I'm visualizing not how I'm going to look, not how I'm going to physically feel, but how I'll be able to hold myself and how people look at me, because that makes me feel good. You have an opportunity right now, my friend. You have an opportunity. And if your answer is yes, I want you to put it here. Are you going to step into the person you were born to be? Are you going to create your life? Are you going to be the effect of the cause? Or are you going to cause the effect? Are you going to step into that person that is going to impact the world? And are you going to be the one that not just your own children, but your nieces and nephews and all the other people in your life look up to you? Because not because of what you've been able to accomplish, but you never, ever gave up. If that's you, follow suit with Sarah and type in yes. I love you guys for everything that I am. And I don't speak garbage here. I only speak what I absolutely 100% believe. And I believe in you, just like somebody believed in me. So register for the webinar tomorrow night. Get your butt in gear. Let's start having some fun with life, because why the hell not? I love you guys. I'll speak to y'all later. If you have any insights or whatever you picked up from here, you can comment here or head over to the My Lead System Pro Facebook group. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.